All right, welcome back. Again, in between first and second period here, no score between Malden Catholic and Austin Prep. Joining me right now is Jim Clark, so you know it's officially high school hockey season when you see Jim Clark's face around the rinks. Jim, welcome.
Thanks, Mark. Good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us here on MassHSHockey.com. MC, kind of carried most of the play there with 7 shots. Austin Prep only getting 1 shot, 2 power plays for Austin Prep, but really not able to take advantage of it. What do you think of the play there in the first period?
Kind of what you expected. I mean, you're a great rivalry like this. The top 2 teams in the state, depending on which polls you're lucky, one's 1, one's 2. You knew they were both going to try and come out and assert themselves, and I think you saw a lot of that. A lot of physical play, not overly chippy, but anyway, they're just trying to, establish the play. And MC, I thought had the better of the run of play, and you can kind of see the talent level that they have there. But Austin, I thought hung in there, and obviously, they've got Elijah in net, so he can be the great equalizer like we saw with Bailey McBurney in the first game. So about what I expected. Be interested to see what happens in the next 2 periods.
Yeah, a little surprise, pre-game with the Lancers switching out goalies. Kyle Casey, the freshman, getting the start tonight. I don't know how much you've seen of Kyle during his brief career here, but hasn't been tested yet.
Yeah, not a whole lot. I did see a little bit of Malden Catholic out at the Sportsmanship Summit early in the month when they played Springfield Cathedral, and I can't remember if Kyle saw any action in that or not. I know it was a 4-4 tie with Cathedral, but it's interesting. It's certainly with Alex Reeses, kind of stepping into the role full time this year, getting his first opportunity, and then I know John McLean was pretty high on what Casey could do, so I think he's just trying to give them both a little bit of run here early in the season, and see if he can find someone that can be an Elijah Harris or a Colin Susi or one of those elite level goalies who could carry a team.
Yeah, absolutely, and the second year of this tournament, and you've been here to cover both of them.
Yep.
No surprises, but 4 of the better teams in the state. With Game 1, St. Mary's defeating Hingham 3-1, and I think Coach Lee was not overly inspired by the quality of their play, but a win is a win.
Right.
And they had a nice tie last night, so maybe something that St. Mary's can build off of.
Oh, absolutely, and this is why you have this kind of tournament to to bring in the best quality teams in the state. I know that was a league game for St. Mary's last night against Austin Prep, and they do that by design so that they can give themselves a little bit of schedule flexibility. But then obviously Malden Catholic and bringing in a team like Hingham, and all 4 of those teams, that's what they want. They want to test themselves early. They want to see what they can do, what they need to work on. I know. Talking to Tony Messina a little bit after that game, he was a little bit discouraged, but they know what they have to work on, coming out of here with a pair of losses and, adjustments they need to make going down the road and getting ready for the big games in March.
Yeah, and I know obviously you've been covering high school hockey for a long time. Coach Serino, this tournament in memory of his passing. What have you seen over the past 2 years, and what is your experiences with Coach Serino?
Just a lot of pride with Chris around this program. I mean, he was a very influential figure. Obviously, did a great job building the program and get it to the level where they won 3 straight Super 8 championships. But just a well-loved guy in the program. Very well respected. Long-time coach around here, back to his days at Saugus. Obviously, he took some time off in between. He was coaching up at Merrimack, but then to come in here and get this program going the way it has and build some of the rivalries that he's built. Just a lot of love for him. You see it amongst the players. You read their tweets, and you see the CS5 on the tweets, and for coach and everything. And then they just they're playing for him still. And they're playing in his memory. And it's good to see.
Yeah, it is good to see, and certainly a class act, and I think a class tournament that hopefully will go on for a lot of years here. Outside of this, Jim, you obviously cover high school hockey across the state of Massachusetts. We're early into the season, but any surprises out there?
Not off the top of my head. I think you saw a lot of the teams that you expected to be strong. I was strong. Obviously, MC and Austin are strong. Central Catholic's gotten off to a great start. They had a little bump their first game of the season when they tied Acton Boxborough. But again, that was a game where they ran into a hot goalie, put 40 shots on net, and you're going to get that, just like what happened with Catholic Memorial last night, losing to Framingham. Great goalie. And that doesn't surprise. There's a lot of really good goalies out there. You've seen them in this tournament with McBurney and Harris. You got Colin Susi at Central Catholic. You got Brandon Collett at CM. Al Lynch, Framingham, a great goalie. Mario Pizzeri from St. John's. They're all over the place. And it's really good to see, and I think it's going to make the action really interesting and hard to predict.
Yeah, nothing like riding a hot goaltender. And we saw McBurney. What a great kid. He came up and we're able to, do an interview with him in between games. And, he's going to keep that St. Mary's team in a lot of games. Very young team.
Yeah. I mean, you saw him do it 2 years ago when St. Mary's went to the Super 8, pretty much on his back. I think they had a little bit more firepower back in those days. But, a hot goalie, like you said, he's the great equalizer. And, took last year off, went up to Brewster Academy, but then came back this year. And you pretty much knew that, that was, the kind of guy that they needed to kind of jump on his back and, get something going. And they've certainly proved to do that the last couple of days.
Absolutely. All right, well, we got about 1 minute and 13 seconds before the start of the second period. Any predictions of what we're going to see in the second period?
I'd be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if the physical play kind of backed off a little bit. I think they kind of established themselves in the first 15 minutes and then maybe kind of let the skill level take over a little bit. I was a little bit surprised the way that 5-on-3 went there at the end of the first period. I think Austin did a great job. I think they kind of saw something. They didn't let MC kind of run it into the zone and kind of set things up. They took the body that one time there with Leighton. Made a great play to rub out McLean coming down the boards, and I think they played that very well. But I'll be curious to see if MC kind of backs off on trying to take the body a little bit more and kind of lets their skill take over a little bit.
Yeah, they certainly have the skill. I mean, we saw them last night and the previous game, them coming out of the first period, 1-1 tie last night, and then just exploding for 5 quick goals. So Austin Prep can't come out slow. I mean, they got to keep trying to take the puck to them, I would think, here.
Yep, and they could do it in bunches. Austin needs to try to establish a little bit something more around Kyle Casey there in the second period. Only one shot on net in the first period. So, and as it was with 2 power plays, I think they kind of need to get themselves established in the offensive zone a little bit more.
All right, Jim, thanks again for jumping in and joining us here in between periods. Look for Jim Clark on the Boston Herald. Also, you can see his rankings off of our MassHSHockey.com rankings page, where we link directly, and certainly follow Jim on Twitter as well. So, Jim, thanks again, and
thanks,
we'll see you around the rinks, I'm sure.
Absolutely, we'll be around.
Thanks, Jim.